Okay guys, welcome to the Ghee portion of this video. We're going to start by going over some Ghee fundamentals with butterfly half guard. Okay. So when I'm in the Ghee, I also need to be very mindful of where I want this knee position. Okay. So the difference is mostly in the Ghee is of course the fact that we can grip our partner. Okay. So when I grip him, I'm going to grip on the underside. Okay. And I use the torque that I get from grabbing the Ghee to drive my elbow into my partner's neck. Okay. So similarly, the fact that I have this frame on him is going to prevent him from grabbing his own underhook, and it's going to also prevent him from grabbing the head. Okay, he can't. Okay, so similarly to no Ghee, I'm going to build my base up and I'm going to frame into my partner. Okay, I have my retracted hook, and then this hook stays on the outside. Okay, if I feel like my partner wants to weave his arm through, I'm going to use my elbow to frame on my knee. Okay, so if I don't use my elbow to frame on the knee, he's going to be able to smash my knee down. So I use my elbow to frame. Okay, makes it difficult for him to collapse the knee. Now, also an advantage here is the fact that I can grip this sleeve, and I can use the structure of my skeleton to basically get in front of him. So I'm locking my elbow and I'm punching through. Now, if he wants to try to start to get towards my head to grab my head, I'm using that. And then I'm using this elbow to prevent the collapse. Okay, so I'm not using a ton of energy here, but I'm able to use my frames to keep him off me. Now, I wish to go for the sweep. So the first sweep is going to be the underhook sweep. So now I'm going to get up onto my elbow and to try to start punching the underhook. I use this collar grip and I can kind of drop it just a bit so that I can bring my elbow underneath. Once my elbow is underneath, it's a way quicker track to grabbing the underhook. Okay, so I have my elbow in, and now I just simply drop the sleeve and I go straight to the belt. So we're going to change the angle here. So I'm grabbing as far on this belt as possible. Okay. If my partner is weighing down onto my shoulder, I'm going to shuck him to get his shoulder off of my shoulder. Okay. So now I'm in a position where I can grab the sweep. Harjo decides to base onto this hand. Okay, so if I just start pulling, I'm not going to be able to pull it. So now I'm going to weight myself into him so that I can rip, and now I can literally just pull backwards. Pulling back, and now I can start the sweep. I base my toes into the mat. I start bringing my weight up. Boom, boom, boom. And I come through. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the advantages of the Ghee, being the fact that I can keep this knee on the outside, which it makes it much more likely for me to grab the mount. Okay, so I'm here. Okay, I'm framed. I have the other frame. I decide to rock up, get my elbow underneath. Okay, and I'm going to swing in to grab my underhook. He waits onto my shoulder. So now I'm going to shuck him until he can get from my arm to my shoulder, which is, I can bear his weight a lot more on my shoulder than I can on my triceps. So he's on my shoulder. Okay. Now look at the position of my knee. So this knee is almost already into a mount position. And when I grab this underhook, I can kind of pull him and cement this knee right into that position. So now I let go of my retracted hook, I start pushing on him, and I pull. Now this knee stays on the outside. So now I bring my hips into him, and it lands me perfectly in the mount. From here, I'm going to start swimming over top and trying to get to my head and arm position. Here. One last time. Retracted hook, butterfly hook. Grab my lapel, start the bobber. Grab my sleeve on the far side. Now I can drop and bring my elbow in. Once my elbow comes in, I grab all the way to the belt. Okay? From here, I make sure that this knee stays on the outside as much as possible. I drop my hook and I start to base into it. I pull and I start to elevate my hips and bring my way into them. And because I'm pulling with my belt grip, I end up in the mount position. From here, I'm pummeling through, grabbing. If he keeps his whizzer on, then I'm going to go straight to a double chest wrap. And that's your fundamentals and the underhook half guard, butterfly half guard sweep.